Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. College football just around the corner. We're going to start previewing conference by conference. We're going to start with one right here to us, close to home, the Mountain West Conference. And I know that you've got a game or a team that you think some value we're going to talk about. When you look at the Mountain West Conference, guys, obviously at the top, you've got Boise State in one side of the division, and you've got San Diego State in the other side. Let's talk about some teams with value, if you see any, or is there nobody that can beat one of these two teams? I'll start with you, Preston, because I know you got a long shot in here.
Yeah, we were talking about the Mountain West Conference last week on Koken's show, and you know, I'm not a homer. I'm not even from Las Vegas or anything, but I think UNLV at 45-1 was like an astronomically high number, and I liked it down to about 30, which you can find here in Vegas, and 45 is offshore. But it sets up really nicely, I think, because they missed the three best teams in the conference on the other division. They missed Boise, they missed Colorado State, they missed Wyoming, and then they get the only team that's really a tier ahead of them in their division is San Diego State, and they play them at home. And they're going to be, 10 to 12-point underdogs in that game most likely. But if they can upset San Diego State that day, then 45-1 is looking remarkably great. So it puts you in a good spot late in the year potentially to lock up some profit if they get into that championship game. The other thing I like is, even if you're not projecting your own numbers or making your own numbers, you just look at the current market. And the other teams in that division, UNLV's season win total is 5.5. San Diego State's is like 9 or whatever, but everyone else is 3.5, 4, Nevada, Fresno State, San Jose State. So, they are supposed to be the second best team in this division anyways, and they get San Diego State at home, so I think it's a good shot, and I priced it about a third of that, so I think it's definitely worth betting if you can get 30 or higher.
And not only do they get San Diego State at home, they get San Diego State at home the week before San Diego State plays the other big gun, Boise State, which I like to look at, possible look-ahead spot. Brian, the other division obviously is the loaded division with Boise, Colorado State, and Wyoming. They've got Colorado State as the second favorite in that division. I think Colorado State's going to take a step backwards this season. I'm not as high on Colorado State as everybody else is, and I think this is one of those spots where you talk about teams in third-year coaches, and that's where you're supposed to start to see a big difference because it's all their own players. But in the Colorado State instance, he replaced a coach, Mike Bobo, not because they fired him, because that coach Jim McElway went on to Florida. So we saw at Oregon, a situation where, the guy who stepped in, Kelly left, in the first couple of years, they still did good because he still had all of Kelly's recruits. Now it was his own and him taking care of it, and we start to see a regression. I think that's what's going to happen to Colorado State, and I think there's value in another team in that division, and I think you're a little bit high on them too. You want to go ahead and tell me what you're looking at?
Well, similar to what Preston was talking about, so much of this has to do with the schedule and the timing of the games. Colorado State has the easiest schedule out of that side of the division, and I think that's why a lot of people are liking them. I have them probably fourth on that side of the bracket. I think Wyoming's a little bit overrated in my opinion. You've got a quarterback, and everybody's real high on the quarterback, but as a team overall, I don't think it's very good. I think Boise, people are dropping off of the Boise train. Boise, no matter who the head coach is, because they always have a head coach that's very good, and it goes off to other options, bigger and better things, as you would say. They continue to draw in good quality players, and the San Diego State situation is you've got the best defense in conference in a league where nobody plays defense, right. And that's a huge advantage there. So when you're playing them, it's not like what you're playing others. So even though I think UNLV will be pretty good this year compared to prior years, I don't know if they're at that level, but at 45-1, how do you not take that?
Yeah, if they can get there that spot, and if San Diego State, stubs their toe a couple times with the other teams from the other division. Wyoming, I think they have a shot. I know they're young, but they were young last year. They got a lot of people coming back, and the quarterback put up some big numbers last year. Now, we've seen it happen before, the old, sophomore jinx, their second year quarterback. But for this coach, this is the first time he's had a returning quarterback to work with. So I like Wyoming. They overachieved last year, no question about it. Let's see if they can make that next step. But I like them better than Colorado State. So if I can get Wyoming at plus 700 in that division compared to Colorado State at 400, which is the current numbers at Westgate, I'm going to take Wyoming at the bigger price, in my opinion. Good stuff for the Mountain West Conference. We're going to be previewing a couple more conferences and videos to follow. Don't forget the 3-day all access. Pick your favorite capper. You get 3 consecutive days. You can start at any day of the week, get 3 straight days for $49. What a deal that'll be come football season. Grab those Saturday, Sunday, Mondays for $49. Only at wagertalk.com. We'll be back with more at Wager Talk.